my daily rant because it never stops. Just how fucked up things really are. And how easy it is, actually, if you look at things, to throw them off course because there is no steady course. So I had to call the VA yesterday because I had to go in to get my emergency shots that I let it go. I let it go as long as I can, even though it's almost like wrestling with death. And then I'm like, okay, I can't, I don't, I'm too tired to wrestle with death anymore. So I go in to get my shots. And it's a rare condition that, no, I'm not going to explain it. So, anyways, I go in, I get my shots. Then I'm like, you know, I should probably check my information on my healthyvet.gov account. And then I'm like, I could swear I updated this shit. How come it's not updated? And then I run my summary report and I'm like, how come this shit's so out of date? Like, how many times do you have to update this stuff? So then I get on the phone and I'm on the phone for like 2 hours and they replaced all the live people that you can talk to explain what's going on with automated, you know, artificial intelligence. And so, both of us, the help desk guy and me, are like, fuck this shit. But my big problem is all this time they've probably been sending stuff to my old address, regardless of the number of times I've tried to update stuff, and it just does not go through. And no matter how many change of address forms that I've completed with the post office, unless you change it with your providers, the people that you're dealing with, they're going to continue to send mail into your old address. The post office just sticks a little sticky on there and it comes back. Some of it comes back to you. If you're lucky, somebody that gets your mail, knowing it's your mail, they're going to return it to the post office and say, that's not mine, and but there's a good chance they're going to open up your mail, right? That's going to your old address and they're going to scalp your information. But to get it updated with the source, it's highly impossible. And, I'm talking to this help desk guy and I go, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember I tried to do all this stuff like last year and I gave up on it because they wanted me to verify myself through this third-party vendor that they have information allegedly on me, okay? And so one of the questions was about a vehicle that I currently drive, and it was some 1950, I don't know, out there, you know, Jag or something, like in my dreams, right? It's like, no, I don't drive that car. And none of these cars that you have listed on here as my current vehicles that I'm driving don't match. And so then I say, none, there's 4 vehicles to choose from. And then the final one is, there does not match. And then you go to this next section and it says, uh, where you've taken out these vehicle loans with all these companies, and it's like I haven't had a vehicle loan in, I don't know, I haven't, it's got to be at least 15, 20 years now since I've had a vehicle loan. It's like, does not apply. I get through the whole thing and then it says they're unable to verify me. Now how fucked up is that? It's really fucked up. So I can't get into my VA accounts to update information because they use a third-party vendor that's saying that they have the mechanisms to accurately identify people based on information that they're scalping off public record, and it's not true. That's pretty fucked up. And it's actually scary. And so when you think about all those people making complaints, they get 680,000 complaints with the United States Postal Service, where people are sending checks, but the recipients are not receiving those. Well, that's partly it is a huge internal problem with the lacking of understanding or oversight with postal employees, but it's also, do you have the right mailing address? Because if it gets caught up in the postal service system and it's not the right address and they make the multiple attempts, we don't know where that mail goes. And for example, I've had, uh, I've ordered shit from eBay and to have it delivered to my storage unit because it's within a close range. I stopped doing that. I don't get to check. I don't get to pick or check off when I place that order. Please deliver by FedEx, UPS, or USPS. I don't get to pick the shipper. The shipper picks the shipper. And so I don't know how they're going to ship the package. And it's happened to me twice where they sent it through the post office. And I tried to catch it as soon as I got the tracking number that they were, going to send it to the post office, because the post office doesn't deliver to my storage unit. What they do is they drop it off at the post office. And the people that work in that particular post office, they're nasty ass bitches, okay? The first time I was lucky enough to catch my package, just when the uh, delivery truck, that I think it was FedEx, dropped it off there, okay? And she gave me, and I made a complaint too. She treated me like shit. She said I didn't have a P.O. box there, that they don't deliver to my storage unit. She didn't give two shits if my landlord at my storage unit said it was okay to ship packages there or not. She's not going to give me the package. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to get the vendor right on the phone right now, because now if you send it back, the cost of shipping is going to be on their hands. And now it's going to cost them more money, because I'm going to make a fucking complaint and they're going to have to refund me. And then they're going to have to pay for the shipping they already paid from point A to B where you're standing. And now you're going to send it back to them and they're going to go pick it up and you're going to charge them for that. But I'm standing right here. I even have all the information with me. Just give me my fucking package. So she gave me the package, and the second time around she wouldn't. She wouldn't give me the package. It had my name on it. It actually had the address for my storage unit, which my landlord gave me permission to have things delivered to his facility. But because the carrier delivered it to the post office, I think the second time around it was DHL, delivered to the post office, and those nasty fucking bitches that work there with zero fucking, these people don't understand cash flow, cash in, cash out. Why? Because they're just flooded with cash. They don't have to fucking think that we can go on tax strike. Any one of us, all of us, if we could get enough people that strike on a tax platform for one solid year, they can print all the fucking money they want. Print your fucking money up. Still ain't gonna change the fact the United States has zero fucking resources backing up any of those fucking dollars you're printing. The ink's not even fucking good on it. And then we have to deal with government employees that are so, their ego is so fucking overblown, man. I can't fucking deal with it. Just can't fucking deal with it. I hope and I pray. Like UPS. UPS, shut them bitches down and take over that fucking processing. They don't know how to do their job, and it's costing us a fucking boatload of fucking cash, okay? At least when I order something, goes through UPS, it ends up in my hands. I order something, goes through the post office, It never ends up. Rarely does it ever end up in my hands. It's fucked up. And the money they get paid, they get paid a lot of money. They get to fuck with our identity, messing with our name and our address in their system, which rejects mail coming to us. They get to fucking, like the workplace whore that I keep talking about, working in the post office. A married woman carrying on affairs with people, fucking with people like me, my mail, getting so involved in my life on the job. And I'm on the streets and she's sleeping in a fucking bed that I bought. Like, come the fuck on. We need a war. Seriously. I mean, the more and more I think about it, like the interception of thoughts into people's minds is the greatest power that we could ever combined have. I mean, they don't control these people. They are so overblown. I can't believe it. Like, I'm totally in fucking shock every day when I ride down the road. That this is really where we live. There's nothing sound about it. It's like lunatics feeding lunatics feeding lunatics. I can't take it anymore. Like, seriously, I want to be surrounded by people with high standards, high levels of intelligence, and they're just like very moral type people, and you're not finding them. They're not out there. And it did happen after 9/11. It's almost like they filled that fucking Twin Towers with a bunch of ding-dong dust that floated out throughout the world. Well, we're going to test it. See how many ding-dongs we can populate now on the planet. Because nothing at all has ever moved in a good direction after 9/11. That shit bothers me. And the other thing that bothers me, which I will not fail to mention in this video, is that I did post a video about a military veteran who went in and asked if there was any veteran discounts at a fast food restaurant, and the attitude that he got from some bitch. First of all, it's none of your business. He's not talking to you. He's talking to the cashier, so shut your fucking mouth, okay? But she's the eavesdropping on him. And then she can't control herself. She's got to open her fucking mouth. And his comeback was so perfectly in line. This is not a benefit, and this is no entitlement. He simply asked, do you have any military veteran discounts? That's all he asked. And the shit he got in return, because this bitch didn't feel it was right that he got anything. They think they're so big. And none of us military veterans that are the real military veterans, I'm not talking Jeff Truex, you ain't no fucking military veteran, okay? You are a scumbag, born of a scumbag. All the shit you did to me and my kids is scumbag. Scumbag fucking movements. You and your workplace whore. Okay? That's who you are. And I'm not afraid to tell people 1 ounce of 1 iota what I think of them, okay? Jeff Truex from Mount Morris, Livingston County, New York, you're the biggest fucking piece of scum there ever was. You were born from a piece of scum. You will always be a fucking piece of scum. And your workplace whore, Tammy Jo Alexander, making her famous before you make her rich. That shit should have never fucking been allowed to happen. Playing like that. There's a little girl buried in a graveyard in Mississippi. Her name's Tammy Jo Alexander. She didn't get a chance to fuck with other people's lives like you did. That shit pisses me the fuck off. Anyways, going back to this video, that shit pisses me off with that fucking bitch. Just shut your fucking mouth. Is somebody talking to you? Do you have to chime in? That's why I don't like women. I can't stand them. Women should have never had any fucking rights to begin with. And when they were given rights, they should have been monitored at close range. Okay? I can tolerate certain women, and I will tell those women right to their face, if I'm talking to you, consider yourself lucky. Because if I'm not talking to you and allowing you to suck up some of my time, chances are I don't like you. And if I don't like you, I'm not going to even try to come around you. And there's a lot of women I don't like. Because they're meddling, they're catty, they're sick, twisted. They can't focus on themselves, their children, and what's in front of them. And I can't stand that shit. I can't stand it. And that video was perfectly played out to be what we deal with. The other video I watched on that day was, and I had to shut it right down, where a Supreme Court judge is reprimanding some kid for something. I don't know, he said something that he shouldn't have said to a police officer or something. And the judge made the comment that, oh, the police officers are our frontline security. Bull fucking shit. That's another thing that so pisses me off. How many police officers have died combined in the line of duty? They are not the front line. The front line are the ones that get killed because they had the courage to stand up to begin with. Now go look at all your military veteran fucking graveyards out there. And there's a lot of them. Go look at all your little local ass fucking graveyards and look for all the insignia on those graves of the people that died that served this country. That's your fucking front line that never got a chance to go home and see their families. I'd like to slap that fucking judge around. Wake the fuck up, ding pup. Your little local fucking employees aren't the ones that held the shit together all this time. They're the only ones that get recognized. They're the only ones that are highly paid. They're the ones that get benefits and everybody sucks their asses and stuff. But the people like me that enlisted into the military and got paid fucking nickels and dimes, willing to put our lives on the line to secure this nation for what? To be trampled on? Fuck you. And there's a lot of us out here. And then your little fucking Indian Removal Act fucking blueprints that you apply to every community, where you change the targeted parties that were once the Indians, but now are the military veterans, where you first want to label them up as mental, then you want to push them by harassing and bullying them onto the lines of suicide. And when they fail to commit suicide, you put them on the streets and make them homeless. That's the United States. And all the while, they're taking all the funding for the prevention of military veteran suicides, and they're building up their little fucking monuments and memorial parks and all their fucking military veteran graveyards. That's some sick, twisted motherfucking shit right there. Welcome to America. That's why I try not to think about my military enlistment too much, and I sure the fuck don't want anybody to ever say to me, because it ticks me off and fires me up like the people on the phone that I just got off with. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service? Fuck, I never got anything for that service. Even when I worked my ass off, I got played with. I was segregated out, even in a fucking courtroom with 2 military veterans. He was more important because, well, he was from Livingston County, New York, and born in Livingston County, New York, and resided in Livingston County, New York, and all his friends were working in the fucking courtroom. So that made me less important with less rights and less standing. And they applied the same fucking shit with my kids. This ain't fucking America. There's no fucking solid strand held. It can't be a country. It cannot be. The birth of a new nation fucking crumbled right from the get-go because people can't fucking stay in sync with anything. There's no solid tradition, no solid strands of legal boundaries where you cannot, absolutely cannot, under any conditions, do X, Y, Z, and ABC to another person, including your neighbors and your family members. They can encroach, they can steal, they can walk right in and take whatever what's the purpose of working? What's the purpose of paying taxes? If you can't have solid lines and boundaries around your country to prevent illegal people from entering, there are no solid lines of boundary to prevent people from entering your home, your car, and your personal property and encroaching, and it's thievery. They opened up the fucking whole wave of thievery in this fucking country. And the fact that these illegal immigrants get housing, they get jobs, they get assigned an attorney, a group of attorneys that protect them if they ever get themselves in trouble. And they get all these benefits and everything, and then they increase taxes to cover all those expenses. It's so fucking, and why people are not looking at that the right way instead of going, oh, those poor little immigrants. It must have been really terrible in their fucking country for them to travel all this way to get to the United States for some asylum. No, those motherfuckers are wanted for like heinous crimes in their own countries. And so they're seeking asylum here so that they will never be penalized for the crimes that they committed elsewhere. And then now that they're here, they can commit crimes because now they're highly protected by the United States of America. And all the while, they're going to increase your taxes and take more and more away from you and your life and your kids and continuously keep us in this little rope of being a slave through taxation without any representation. Wake the fuck up. I'm so sick of these groups, the humanitarian groups, with their fucking bullshit about, oh, well, we have to protect the sovereignty of the Ukraine. The Ukraine, this is where people don't understand long-standing history. The Russian people can say, hold on, Tam, after what I say, they can say, well, you're right to a degree, but, here's where you're wrong. You can say that shit to me and I'll be okay with it, okay? But as far as I know, the Ukrainians are Russian. They're the misbehaved portion of the Kremlin that couldn't stay in alignment with the government surrounding that, everything to do with Russia. And instead of building prisons and populating, certain sections of the world to contain them for their misbehaved ways about them, they carved out the lower section of Russia and they gave them what they needed. A set of fucking horns. And they called it the Ukraine because they could not behave themselves. That's the history of the Ukraine as I know it. So for the United States to funnel all these billions and trillions of dollars over to the Ukraine to help them with their sovereignty, a nation is only sovereign if they have the ability to pay their debt. Otherwise, it's acquisition time. And anybody with a sound mind knows that shit. So the further and further this country puts us in debt, it's acquisition time. Now, who's going to acquire first and how is it going to get transferred after that? We don't know. But right now, the biggest holders of our national debt, that would be Japan and China. And I personally, I like the Japanese. I like the fact that they got quality built into their work. They can run some smooth fucking operating machines. putting checks and balances along the way. You ain't gonna find that shit here in the United States government. And OPS, by the way, I'm sure Russia can review those fucking documents on Alaska and yank that shit right out of your fucking hands too, dumbasses. Stop playing games. And watch your fucking mouth. Some of these women, I have low tolerance, and I will tell them off right on the spot if they eavesdrop on a conversation. If I'm asking somebody something, it's none of your goddamn fucking business, and you want to have some sidebar comments where I overhear that, you're going to hear some shit. Mind your fucking business. Focus on yourself. Focus on your family. Because otherwise you're just, you look like an idiot out there. Like a postal whore. I ain't done with you, Patty to BC, and trust me, if I'm putting this video out there, you better be watching your fucking back.